Hi everyone, my name is Zoe,
My name is Anna.
and welcome to the new section in our channel, a global businesses discussion.
Today, we're diving into a big topic that's reshaping global businesses, nearshoring.
And guess what? Mexico is right at the center of it all. We're going to break down why it's becoming such a hotspot for all the investment from outside.
So, first things first, Mexico's location is a major win. I mean, it shares a huge border with the US, which is basically the biggest market in the world.
Yeah, that means faster shipping, lower transportation costs, and fewer supply chain headaches.
Exactly. And with trade deals like the USMCA and more than a dozen other agreements, Mexico has access to around 60% of the world's GDP. That's a big deal for companies looking to expand.
And let's talk about talent. Mexico pumps out over 120,000 engineers and tech graduates every year. That's a serious advantage in industries like auto, aerospace, and electronics.
And it's not just about the people. Regions like Nuevo León, Chihuahua, and Baja California are becoming hubs for big name companies. We're talking about companies like Tesla, Foxconn, GM, Intel, etc.
Yes, they are clustering there because of strong infrastructures and local coordination. It's like a magnet for innovation.
Yeah, we could call it like that. Well, but it's not all perfect. One of the big challenges is the infrastructure.
Right. Things like energy grids, water systems, and transportation, they need serious upgrades. We're talking about over 400 billions in investment needed by 2032.
And logistics can be pricey. Freight costs in Mexico are still higher than in the US or in Canada, mostly because the infrastructure isn't fully up to speed yet.
That's a sad thing. Despite that, investment is flowing in. For example, Volvo is putting $1 billion into a new electric truck plant in Nuevo León.
Yeah, but that's not just money, it's the confidence. And we're seeing similar moves in the semiconductor sector too.
Yeah, because with global tensions and supply chain concerns, companies want alternatives to Asia, and Mexico is looking more and more attractive.
One shift we've seen since COVID is that companies are focusing less on cutting costs and more on being resilient.
Totally. The pandemic exposed just how fragile global supply chains can be.
So, nearshoring gives companies more control and flexibility. And Mexico fits right into that strategy, especially with how closely its regulations align with the US.
Looking ahead, tech will be the key. Automation, AI, big data, all the industry 4.0 stuff is now part of doing businesses in the world.
Yeah, so Mexico needs to keep investing in digital infrastructure and education to stay competitive.
And of course, build ecosystems that support R&D and tech startups. The foundation is right there. It just needs to scale up.
So, wrap it up. Nearshoring isn't just a trend, it's a part of a bigger shift toward regional supply chains and economic sustainability.
Yes, Mexico is in a great position, but to truly lead, it will need to fix infrastructure gaps and strengthen institutions.
If policymakers and businesses play it right, Mexico could be a key player in the new global economy.
But let's not forget about an important thing in, the actual world. Sustainability is becoming a major factor for investors.
Yeah, the green energy, cleaner production, and carbon footprint reduction are top priorities now.
Yeah, Mexico has a great potential here too, because there are massive solar and wind energy projects underway, especially in the north of the country.
Yes, and if Mexico keeps pushing for green energy and circular economy practices, it could attract even more investment from companies that are more focused on the ESG goal.
Yeah, that would be so great.
But you know what's another big advantage?
Which one?
The younger generation.
Wow, yeah. Mexico has a super young population, and a lot of them are tech savvy, they are entrepreneurs, and they are ready to innovate.
Yeah, and lately, we're seeing more startup accelerators, coding schools, and youth initiatives, especially in cities like Guadalajara or Mexico City.
Yeah, that kind of energy, helps build a more dynamic, future-ready economy. And that's exactly what investors are looking for. If you found this conversation insightful, make sure to follow us for more episodes on global business trends.
And share this with anyone who's curious about nearshoring or thinking about maybe investing in Mexico.
Thanks for listening.